Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Big Cloud podcast. Okay, so welcome back to the Big Cloud podcast. This is our second episode, and I'm delighted to have our guest in today. We've got Dave Burton, fantastic musician I've known for a few years now, and his bass player Hendo, who I've only had the pleasure of meeting today, but he's been an absolute star. And Dave, for those of you who know, he's a classically trained musician, one of the best guitarists I've ever had the pleasure of seeing, and he's agreed to come in today and play a few songs for us, if that's all right.
Yep.
And have a bit of a chat. And for anyone that hasn't had the pleasure of meeting you before or hearing your music, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, your musical biography. How did you get started in this nonsense that we all do?
Well, sort of, I suppose started playing in pubs when I was 15, 16.
That young?
Yes, yeah. My first ever gig was in Petersfield, a place called the George, where we had to move a drunk guy off the sofa before we could set up.
Really?
Yeah.
And what age are you now? You're like 15 or 16?
What?
At that point?
At that point,
yeah.
I was 15, I think. Wow. At that point, yeah. Because that was how I got started singing. Because we had a singer then. I just played guitar. But her parents were like, "There's no way that you're playing in here."
Really?
So that was our first gig, and sort of like, well, I better sing then, I suppose.
Wow.
So yeah.
And where was this down south, or was this round here? Or?
That's down south, yeah, Petersfield, yeah.
That's where you're from originally, is it?
Yeah. I grew up, near Portsmouth, yeah.
Oh, right, it's beautiful around there. What are you doing up north?
What am I doing up north? Well, sort of took a winding road. I used to work for the Youth Hosteling Association. Sort of after I finished uni, which took me to Chester.
Yeah.
And then I kind of worked my way west from there over into Wales.
See, this is interesting because our paths have crossed being in bands, and I've been to your gigs, and you've probably seen me in bands, but you don't know everyone's history until you actually get a chance to sit down and. It's like a gigs, you never get a chance to really talk to anyone, do you?
No, that's it, yeah.
It's great that, mate. Yeah, thanks a lot. Not bad. What about you, Hendo? How did you get going in live music, and how long have you been gigging and playing for?
Probably about the same age, about 15 or 16.
Yeah.
I went to college and did a performing arts course.
Where is that round here in the northwest? Or?
In North Wales, in Wrexham.
Yeah, in Wrexham,
yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I met a lot of other musicians there and formed bands and.
Was that Yale?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You know Yale.
I went to Yale for a little bit.
Oh, right.
I did an art course for a while. As a mature student, I went back, and I didn't last very long. But what were you studying?
Recording and just general music.
Oh, audio engineering and all that.
Audio engineering, music theory, and performance and stuff like that.
And were you a bass player then, or were you?
Guitar then.
Right.
So I started off as a guitarist, and then sort of decided, well, people like him, they've got it down to a fine art, so I'll move on to bass instead.
He's good, isn't he?
He can play.
Oh, look at him. He's very modest. He's very modest, Dave. He's not. He's an egomaniac.
Don't tell him that.
The demands out of this man. No.
You said I was going to look good out of this.
No, seriously, Dave is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet on the circuit, and that's not always true of people with big talents. He's got enormous talent, as Dave. No, but you're really nice, and you're a gentleman. And sometimes, when someone's as talented as Dave, they can be a bit of a monster. But you're really. I'll be honest, because I'm a straight shooting guy. I mean, you're a really nice guy. So how did you and Hendo start playing together, and how long's this been going
on? About a year.
Something like that.
So, yeah. I'm not entirely sure. About a year, I think.
Were you mates before, or was this and you meet through music?
No, from my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend.
You were seeing the same girl?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's brilliant.
She was living with him in sin.
Really?
Yeah.
And so you're like, this is like Eric Clapton and George Harrison and Patty Boyd. I didn't think I'd get some kind of scoop on it. This is brilliant. Wow.
Wrexham's a dark place.
Yeah, it was actually his sister and my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just being the bigger man and thought, hey,
He can have her.
you can have her. I'm not going to let this get in the way of my rock and roll dreams.
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Dave, what are you doing?
My girlfriend at the time moved into his as a lodger,
Yeah.
and I'd seen Dave perform before,
Yeah.
and sort of like, so the name rung a bell when she said what his name was.
You mean musically perform?
Column A, column B.
Everyone's seen Dave perform.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and so after a while, Dave said, "Oh, do you want to do some jamming?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I brought my bass along because I didn't want to embarrass myself with the guitar, and just sort of played on some of his songs, and that's it, really.
How long have you been playing the guitar?
How long have I been playing the guitar? Well, since I was 8, so 20.
And was it classical straight away, or did you start off doing pop music? Or
I started off learning classical,
Yeah.
and by the age of 11, I was about ready to give it up.
Really?
But then I went to big school, and I had a new guitar teacher called Juan.
Yeah.
Who
Juan.
Juan.
Yeah.
Who started teaching me kind of classical arrangements of Beatles songs, and sort of introduced me to like Eric Clapton. And
So did that sort of spike your interest because it
Yeah,
was more popular music,
at the
but
time,
you were still doing the
That's
classical?
right,
Yeah.
that's right. And sort of so he started off doing his own arrangements of things like that. And sort of on Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that. He arranged all of that for sort of simple sort of solo guitar.
Was this fingerstyle straight from the word go?
Yeah. And and then he eventually sort of started to creep a bit of Bach in there as well, and so it was like, quite enjoying this. That was sort of how I got started on the guitar, and then sort of around about sort of 13, 14, I formed my first duo. And we started going out busking and sort of and eventually playing pub gigs.
Oh, that's interesting. Is that how you started? You took to the streets and busked?
Yes, yeah, that's
and
right.
were you doing that kind of stuff? Were you doing instrumental fingerstyle, or were you busking pop songs?
Oh no, busking pop songs.
Yeah. And did you do all right busking?
Well,
Have you ever busked?
I don't think I ever have. No.
I've busked. I used to busk in Chester. It's we know a tour and people like that.
Oh yeah.
It's hardcore, that.
Yeah.
I mean, doing gigs is one thing, but you're safe at a gig, aren't you? You're secluded. You're meant to be there, but you suddenly thrust yourself into the public, so to speak.
One of my friends busked in Chester, and he all he did was he sat down and started tuning his guitar, and people threw him money.
Really?
I was like, wow, I should really get into this.
My God,
this busking game.
Maybe
I don't remember it being that easy.
No, I don't.
I don't know how much he got. I know that he got something, but yeah.
Do you know what we used to do? I used to live in Chester, and that's how I know Dave. We used to busk in Chester High Street, and we were struggling. And then the Tesco's round. I think it's down. I forget the names of the streets now, but there's a little Tesco's in Chester city centre.
Yeah.
You go down one of the side alleys, and there's a car park round the back where everyone has the the trolley where you put your trolley back, and everyone has the pound in the hand. So we started busking right by the trolley park, thinking everyone's got a quid in their hand, and if just 10% of people take pity on you, and it was the best day we ever had. They were just chucking pounds at us.
Genius.
So you're gonna play some live music for us.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you busking this one before.
Yeah.
This is called Somebody's Gonna Get Hurt, and is this
That's
a song
right.
you wrote yourself?
It is, yes, yeah.
What's this about?
Well,
This is a threat of violence.
well, it's yeah. I mean, it's obviously sort of to do with an ex girlfriend of mine.
Yeah.
Who was going to send her new boyfriend round to pick up her stuff.
Oh God! Why would you do that? That's insane, really.
Yeah. So it's kind of
Yeah, I understand you writing this song.
Yeah. So it
you gotta be sensitive, haven't you? You don't send the new boyfriend round. That's just crazy. If you listen to this, what were you thinking? You're lucky you just wrote a song about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't actually happen in the end.
Oh,
so,
good. Well, yeah, you heard the song, though. Jesus Christ. Not doing
Well, he was a big guy, so
Oh, was he?
Yeah, so it was probably just as
Best
well.
for everyone, really.
Yeah,
You-
best for me. Yeah,
Yeah, you can get your fingers broken. Or
that's it. I just get to sing about it.
Yeah. And you're going to be playing bass on this one, is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
And you brought your stand-up bass, so we're going to unpack that now. So, Dave Burton and Hendo with Somebody's Gonna Get Hurt. Take it away, guys.
Somebody's gonna get hurt. I said you bring him round here. Somebody's gonna get hurt. And he better not be showing his face, 'cause he's not welcome at my place. And if you bring him round here, somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Your life's in a box and you need someone to take it away. So who do you call but the man who helped to make it that way? Well, I heard some stupid things in my time. Girl, you really crossed the line. Around here, somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah, you bring him round here, somebody's gonna get hurt. But now you're telling me that maybe you made a mistake. I think all you got wrong is not knowing how much more I would take. I'm not usually a violent man, but there are things for which I will not stand. And if you bring him round here, somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah, you bring him round here, somebody's gonna get hurt. long ago, well, I might just have called him a friend. But now things have changed and you ought to know his presence offends. And it don't matter if it's him or me, 'cause it's with you that the blame will sit squarely. And if you bring him round here, somebody's gonna get hurt. Here, somebody's gonna get hurt. Don't you bring him around. 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 Don't you bring him around.
So, guys, that was brilliant. Beautiful. I think so. Everyone can understand what I was talking about when I was mentioning how good these guys were and how talented. So, fantastic. You're going to play some more for us, but we'll have a little chat first. So, I knew you when I lived in Chester a few years ago, and you were always a face on the music scene.
Mm-hmm.
You were always gigging in Telfords and places like that. And the first place that I saw you was, I think it was in Telfords. I remember seeing you doing a gig with the Invisible Wires. Does that sound about right? Did you used to play in Telfords a lot?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it was brilliant because it was so different to everyone else, including us. And we all just wanted to be like punk bands or grunge bands, and you guys were classy. You had an element of class, and it was probably like your guitar playing was influenced that. It just seemed so intelligent compared to the stuff that I was doing. I was bouncing around and staying in my underpants at the time, so everything was intelligent compared to that. But yeah, do you want to tell us about the Invisible Wires?
Well, that was sort of my first band when it came to Chester, and sort of started off when I met Benny Malone at Telford's open mic, and we started playing, and then we sort of got a saxophone player for a while, and we gigged as a 3-piece and went through various different sort of lineups. But yeah, I suppose it was good fun for a while. But as these things do, sort of it sort of came to an end.
It's murder being in a band, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's murder. It's not. I remember you. I think I didn't know everyone in your band. I knew Spike was in your band, the keyboards.
Yes,
he was there when I saw you. Kath, she was she the lead singer, or was she singing with you? You're doing harmonies.
Yeah, we were sort of joint leads. Yeah. You were great,
But yeah, it's murder, because we were talking about this before, weren't we? Trying to get different human beings all on the same page. I mean, you can be musically on the same page, but getting personalities to mesh and. Have you been in lots of bands like the Invisible Wires? Yeah.
I'm in 4 at the moment, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
You whore.
Pretty much. Yeah. Someone asked me about it in where I work and said, "Isn't it really confusing?" Like, now I'm not going to suddenly break out some synth part in stuff with Dave. Or...
Do you just play the same bass parts in every band? They'll never notice.
It's all the same key, so it's fine.
Root note it.
Yeah.
But then I feel after a while, you do your original music, and things like we've touched on, it can be hard working with other musicians in original bands. You've got creative conflicts and differences, and added to the pressure is that no one's making any money, and you want to make a lot of money. So people end up having to do other kinds of music just to get by.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll join a function band or a covers band, and that's something I've had to do to survive, because it's hard. And I know you've done something similar quite recently, haven't you? You've started.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've been picking your brain over Facebook, haven't I?
So how's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, sort of got quite a few covers gigs coming up sort of over the next few months.
Is that very different from the stuff you've been doing originally?
Yes, well, sort of people it's a totally different experience, sort of, and I'm sure you'll relate to sort of that people, actually playing songs that people can sing along with and get up and dance to, and sort of you get you sort of get a visible reaction from the crowd.
Well, yeah.
Whereas when you're sort of playing your own stuff, sort of for most of the people in the venue, sort of they might not have heard it before, or sort of they might not know. It might not necessarily be something that you can dance to or something that you can sing along with. So it's quite nice to have that feedback from the audience.
I agree. The last podcast I did was a young lad just starting out. He's about 17, and he's doing original music. And he said something which I think you'll all relate to, is it's hard when you get started, when you've been in rehearsal and you've wrote a song and everyone's cheering and thinking it's great, and then you get out there at your first gig or open mic or whatever it may be, and the response isn't what you thought in your little fantasy.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah. That's exactly what we said in the last podcast. And my opinion was that that's the hardest thing. If you can get past that and not let it affect you, I think you've cracked it. Because a lot of people give up then. They you know, they've wrote something that they're proud of. It means a lot to them. It's not just like knocking off a cover song. They've wrote something that they put their heart and soul into. And when the public, whoever it may be, whether it's 10 people in a bar or 100 people or you're playing a festival or whatever, if they don't tune in, or if they're just there to listen to a different band, or if they're just talking at the bar, it can really get you down, can't it? To begin with, you've got to learn to deal with it. I mean, what gives you the strength to... Because I think it's about personalities, music, as much as it is about talent. What gives you the strength to kind of ignore that and just carry on, you know?
Well, you just have to, get on with it, don't you? I suppose it's, that's the tough thing about it, isn't it? I mean, sort of like we were saying sort of earlier on, when you, when you first sort of, put your songs out there, you think, wow, this is amazing. I'm just the greatest songwriter of all time. Yeah. Everyone is just going to fall at my feet as soon as they hear this. And then when reality actually sort of kicks in and kicks you in the face in many...
It spits in you, stomps on your bollocks.
That's it. Yeah. Sort of, it's at that point when sort of, are you going to get up and do it all again, or are you going to, sort of, crawl back into your, sort of shell? But
I think if it's in you, you'll carry on, won't you?
Yeah.
If it's something that's got to come out, you're not going to let people offending you put you off. But I've known people who were good get up, and everyone ignored, and they just thought, well, no one appreciates my genius, so I'm just going to bow out now. Which I think is a mistake. You got to soldier your arm. So I was reading your website, very lovely website, by the way. It's davidburtonmusic.com.
That's right.
Is that right? You see that plug? I know what I'm doing now. And I was reading your biography in preparation for the interview, because I know you, but I didn't know everything about you. So it was interesting reading your biography. I was like, bloody hell, you played with some great people. Is it true you were supporting Eric Roach? Is that right?
That's right, yes. Yeah, I met...
How did that come about?
Well, I met Eric at a venue in Cambridge called CB2, where I was doing a set and opening up for him. And he was sort of kind enough to kind of take me under his wing at that point, and say, did I want to go down to London and support him at 12 Bar on Denmark Street?
Wow!
And I was like, do I want to do that?
Well, what a perfect guy for you.
Yes, well that was it. Obviously, it was amazing to sort of to actually see in the flesh, how he sort of does all of those kind of amazing techniques, and makes the guitar into the whole orchestra, like he obviously sadly did now. Obviously, sadly passed on.
I know, yeah. So how did you make that initial connection? Did he approach you, or did you approach him, or?
Oh well, we just got chatting really, between sets kind of thing at the venue.
You'd gone to see him at a gig. Had you? Or were you
well, I was playing on the same bill as him.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah. And you've also played with Duffy, is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, that was Telford's Warehouse again. That great hub of
everyone's
of musicians.
Yeah.
She was just singing a cappella because she went to Chester Uni, of course, and. So she was just singing some, I can't remember what she was singing now, but she was, and I was just like, wow, sort of, what a voice kind of thing. So so I sort of went up to her and said, do you need a guitarist by any chance? And she was like, yeah, cool, okay. So we sort of set up a to get together, and so yeah, we played a few open mics, sort of Alexander's and Telford's, and sort of round and about.
Oh, cool!
Did a few recordings in my studio.
Yeah.
And then sort of that summer, she said, I'm just going down to London, and obviously that was when she met Bernard Butler, wasn't it? And recorded Rock Ferry, and it was like,
and that was it.
Yeah, didn't hear from her after that.
That's strange, isn't it? Yeah. She must have lost your number.
That's it.
That's what it is. She probably dropped her phone, but wow. But wow, that's brilliant. I remember we had a gig in North Wales somewhere. And a murmur of excitement went round the crowd, and it turned out Duffy's dad was in. People were going, Duffy's in. We were going, Duffy's in. Oh, brilliant! So we were smartening up. It was with the Delta tones, we were smartening up, getting all excited, and they meant Duffy's dad. He was just having a pint of mild at the bar. It was just like just as local. So yeah, that was that. Nothing exciting. So do you guys want to do another song?
Yeah, sounds good.
You sound so brilliant. Let's do another track. This one's called "Calms My Sorrow." Do you want to say anything about this before we play it?
Well, it's I don't know what to say really. I mean, it's a love song kind of thing.
Are you in love, Dave?
Well, I am, but not with the girl this song's about.
Isn't that the way? Oh my god, isn't that hard? Well, you can't drop a good song just because the girlfriend's gone out.
Well, no. I mean, obviously, you can just sort of tell successive girlfriends that this one's about them, but that would be a lie.
And you are not the kind of guy to lie to a lady,
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So let's hear it. This is Dave Burton and Hendo with "Calms My Sorrow."
Smile surrounds me, the warmth you offer up your face. It calms my sorrow, there was always something in the air between our souls, something in our atmosphere, what was yet to be foretold, and still it calms my sorrow. Touch that tells no lies, bathed in the morning sun, melting our lullabies, and still it calms my sorrow. We let something grow, though it would be gone someday. Watch the tide rise up, then feel it fall away, and still sorrow. Once again now in this moment, so little change now since the last, still reflecting on our memories. No pain won't be surpassed.
So that was "Calms My Sorrow" by Dave Burton and Hendo, who manfully is keeping himself awake because he pulled an all-nighter last night. This rock and roll lifestyle.
Yep, that's me.
Look at him. He's like Keith Richards in the 70s, this guy.
The heroin is keeping me awake.
Wow, I thought it was making you nod off.
No, that's how bad it is. It's keeping me awake.
So you guys, you're going to be playing a festival.
That's
soon.
right. Yes,
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your first festival together?
I don't know. It might be.
I think it probably is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, we haven't done a festival yet, have we?
Well, there's did we play Focus Wales? I can't remember. If I think we did. No, we didn't. I don't know.
So many I told you were a whore.
Yeah.
You can't remember?
Yeah. No, that was your other band.
No, I didn't. No, there was the one we played in the art gallery place, but I can't remember what it was for.
yes.
Was
in
that
the
for a
Gallery
festival?
3B. Well, it was kind of a family fun day, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah, it's difficult to keep track.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
rock and roll, isn't it? You were probably asleep anyway. So what is this festival that you play in there? And when
Rex,
is it?
Well, it's Rex Fest.
Rex Fest.
Sort of, it's in Wrexham.
Wrexham.
Yeah, you see what they did there?
I see, that's clever.
It's
It's
good,
brilliant.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to catch on.
There's all kinds of excellent local artists playing there all day. I think is it over a few days?
I think it's over 2 days.
over 2 days. Yeah.
Is it? So it's an outdoor festival, is it, or an indoor festival?
No, it's a few. I think it's 2 or 3 live venues, so it's indoors.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's outdoor like stalls and stuff, like people
Yeah.
selling stuff.
Oh, cool.
So it's a bit of. I think there's bits of dance and
yeah.
people selling all manner of stuff they've made, I guess.
So what slot have you guys got? What time are you going to be on? Do you know yet?
I think we're on about 4:00.
Yeah,
Is that on the Saturday or is that the Friday or the Saturday?
it's a Saturday, I think.
Right.
I don't know.
It's Thursday night and Friday,
Right.
so it's Friday. It's Friday day.
All I remember is that
All I know is
the problem I have when I get asked for gigs is because I work shifts.
Yeah.
I work nights.
Yeah.
So all I remember is whichever day I said. The day before, no. The next day, yeah, I can do.
Yeah.
So it's so it's in the afternoon, and I'll be pretty much like this.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But that makes for a nice relaxed bass style.
It does.
Jazzy.
Yep.
Yeah. You're sitting back on the notes, aren't you?
Very far back.
So I'm sure everyone that sees this podcast and listens to you guys is going to love what you're doing, because honestly, you guys are fantastic. So if they want to come and see you live, I'll be right in saying it's the Friday about 4:00
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. In
Rex
the
Fest.
Oak,
Yeah, in the Royal Oak.
in the Royal Oak,
in the Royal Oak in Wrexham
yeah,
on the Friday, 31st of July.
yes,
Is that
that's
right?
right. Yeah,
We're in the right month and everything.
that's it. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, when we're there, we'll have people to
Yeah.
to remind us where we are and stuff. So
Of
when we
course,
go,
yeah.
good evening. Where is it?
I once, speaking of Welsh gigs, I once went to see the Beach Boys, or the current reincarnation of the Beach Boys, play in...
The reincarnation. Of
Well, like Brian Wilson wasn't there, but Mike Love was,
Right.
and the rest were probably like session musicians, and there might have been a couple of original Beach Boys, but they were billed as the Beach Boys, and they were playing in somewhere in North Wales. Let's say it was Mold. It was somewhere like that, and it was an outdoor gig. And Mike Love, not War, he just got off the plane, obviously, and he was jet lagged. He was a bit like Hendo, and he climbed onto the stage. And some runner obviously ran up to him and whispered in his ear. And he went, "Hello, England!" And the Welsh crowd just were like, well, you can imagine. You can imagine.
Diana Ross did that in Scotland.
Did
once
she?
before, yeah.
Oh,
In I think Glasgow it might be. Yeah. So, but Glasgow, you don't really want to do it in Glasgow and go "Hello, England."
and everyone just went, "Oh, Mike!" Oh, because it was an innocent mistake. Because I used to live in America, and I know they don't understand the difference. It's all London to them.
Everyone knows the Queen.
Yeah, it's all exactly. So he struggled to win the Welsh partisan crowd back after that. I mean, I was probably the only English person there at the point. I was going, "Oh, jeez." But yeah, you guys will get it right. You lift up your guitar,
Yeah.
Spinal Tap style. "Hello, Wrexham." Do you suffer with nerves?
Not especially, not for playing.
Yeah.
Sort of, because a live gig, it's well, if you make a mistake, you muddle through, and it's sort of, something like this where it's going to be recorded for posterity.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a little bit harder.
The minute the cameras are rolling or someone presses record, it changes everything, doesn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
It is. I feel for you guys because it's. I've been there myself in studios and that, and you're fantastic. And then suddenly someone says roll in, and because you start thinking about possibilities, you start playing a song where normally you just relax, and then you start thinking, what if I mess up? Yeah. And that's the worst thing is think, what if I forget the next chord?
What is it my thumb does here? Yeah. How do I play a guitar?
Have you found the worst thing if you start talking to yourself, saying, what's the next lyric? What's the next lyric?
Yeah.
Oh, is it this? Is it that? Is it A minor next, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. What if it...
Yeah. Oh. You have to sort of draw a kind of almost blank. It's like if you don't look at things too carefully. I think sort of. You just have to kind of just let it do its thing and just trust that your fingers and your voice box knows what it's gonna do.
Yeah, it's like you almost like meditate. I meditate. To get all hippie about it, but I do, and it's like that. You just sort of do the little mantra. You're not really there, but you are there.
Yeah.
The minute I start focusing on anything, it's all over.
Right.
But speaking of focus, you're going to do another song for us now.
Mm-hmm.
Autumn. Now I heard you were warming up with this one before, and this is beautiful. Are you changing guitar for this one? I'm not sure, but
no. This is also in the B guitar.
Oh yeah. It's Ibanez, isn't it? This one.
It is, yeah.
And is that a maple fretboard? I noticed.
Yeah, it's all maple actually. That one, yeah.
You don't see a lot of maple fretboards on acoustic guitars, do you?
No. Well, it was very unusual, but sort of just found it on eBay and bought it off a chap down in Birkenhead actually.
Yeah.
And sort of, I've got quite a few of the old Ibanez guitars from the 70s.
Is that a 70s guitar? Yeah?
It is, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. As the 12 string as well. I played the first song. That's a 70s one as well.
Oh, beautiful.
But I've got a bit of a thing about Ibanez's from that period. I've got 3 of them. So.
Were they made in Japan?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Japanese. Yeah. So why is it that, like I've got a Telecaster on the wall there with a maple fretboard? You see them on electrics all the time, but that might be the first one I've seen on an acoustic like that. It's usually rosewood or ebony, isn't it, on the acoustics?
Yeah, I honestly don't know why there aren't more of them, because I suppose it's quite a hard wood, isn't it? So it's sort of maybe sort of they want something a bit softer for an acoustic.
So they reckon it would be brighter, would they? With
but sort of. With that one, I down tune it to a kind of B tuning.
Oh yeah.
So sort of you got the lower tuning sort of offset by the brighter sound. So sort of between it sort of evens out. That's my theory anyway.
It sounds beautiful. You ready for this, Hendo?
Oh yes.
You were born ready. This is Autumn. Dave Burton and Hendo. Take it away, boys.
Autumn when he asked her, could I take you for my wife? All the trials that fate could send us, we could face with twice our might. But when I see was what she answered, for to love is to depend, and a promise if once broken, it takes twice the time to mend. Keep your plans and grow them stronger, for fruit one day they will bear, and they'll be our sole protection as we face the storm and see how we fare. Shall await us, and what path that we will find. And if your steps should chance to falter, I will not be far behind. You can let me be your shelter and rest easy in your mind. But I don't know if I can surrender what is not my own to give. For this life that's laid before us, it's our own way we're obliged to live. So she asked him, what's the matter? See, your face looks awful sad. I don't wish to disenchant you. I'll be little what we have of the angels up in heaven. All they will my witness be. Not a man in this whole county has a girl as true as me. But I'm not a ship at anchor, and my sail may catch the breeze, and I will be bound to answer, and to do so I must do as I please. One day that spring he had been drinking, and his temper set to fray. The words she spoke last autumn had not the young man's fears allayed. If I cannot be your husband, you'll not be another's wife. And so went for the kitchen blade with a view to end her life. But his wits were not about him as the drink had taken hold. So she loosed the knife from his grasp, and she drove it home. Now he won't grow old. Not a soul was there to witness such provocation as took place. As the judge heard a testimony, he was sat with stony face. What is clear to me is, young lady, that you ran your victim through, and for that you will be old and grey when justice is through with you. And so she wept as he read his verdict, head in her hands as they took her down. As it seems for preserving her life, she should spend it at the pleasure of the crown.
Okay, so that was Autumn by David Burton and Hendo. Just phenomenal again, guys. I mean, the technique you're showing there, and like we were saying, it's hard on a live scenario. Someone's pressing record and saying go, and you've got to be that technical doing. It's brilliant. So I'm sure everyone, you're going to get a lot of new fans. Anyone that sees this is going to be blown away. So we're coming to the end of the podcast now. So we're just going to wrap up really. I mean, we were talking about your Ibanez. You've played the 12-string, and you played the 6-string then with the maple fretboard.
Yep.
Now for the last song you're going to do, you've got a very special guitar, haven't you? that you brought out when you were tuning up and everything. Do you want to talk about this? Because I'm a guitar nerd.
Right.
So you're not going to bore me if you want to get technical about it. You might bore everyone else, and this might be a time for you to have a little nap.
Why not?
But, get yourself Has he got a pillow?
I'll get him a pillow. Get one of Harvey's little...
I could lie down.
Do you want to talk about this? Because I mean, personally, it'd be a thrill to hear about how you got this guitar and what it's made of and all this.
Okay. Well, it's a Loudon, which is a luthier based in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And I first became aware of those through I teach guitar as well, and an adult student of mine actually had one, and sort of he came in with it, and sort of I was like, wow, that just sounds like something else entirely. So I think as I'd heard sort of the convent, because as we were saying earlier on, I've played Ibanez's for sort of since I was a teenager really. And I hadn't really heard a guitar that had sort of, that had made me think, right, it's worth spending sort of, that extra bit on,
bucks,
sort of, because, I thought that the Ibanez's stand up to sort of, the Gibsons and the Martins and that, in my opinion. But then I heard this loud and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
And it was night and day to you, was it? It was
sort of, I subsequently found out that another of my favourite guitarists, Pierre Bensouz, and he is sort of he uses those, and also Andy McKee as well. I don't know if you've seen his stuff on YouTube, but he was playing a Loudon as well. So I thought, well, these are this is a pretty good guitar.
It's a serious guitar for a serious guitarist, isn't it? It's
that's
not.
it.
It's
yeah. So when when the time came to spend a lot of money on a guitar, sort of I was pretty much decided that was what I was gonna get. So I went down to a shop that had sort of a range of those. And
like if you want a guitar like a luthier, this is all handmade in the luthier's workshop in Ireland. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they've got a small team of luthiers.
So where stocks these guitars? Can you walk into a Dawson's and get one of these, or do you have to go to a specialist? Or?
I don't think you'll get it in a Dawson's.
Yeah.
No. This was Coda Music down in Stevenage that I went to for this. But I think they do stock them in various different places around the country. But that had the best selection. So
they had a few Loudons you could try out, did they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow. And this one spoke to you.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. Sort of. After went through all of them, and that was the one.
Well, it's got a beautiful tone, and that's got a hard fretboard. We're talking about that's got an ebony fretboard, doesn't it? And
it does.
That gives a brighter, more direct sound, doesn't it? I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, it's the cedar top and sort of rosewood back and sides. Yeah.
Gorgeous. I mean, all your other guitars sounded great too, but this is a different sound. I can hear the difference. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
And you're playing a bit of a weird guitar, aren't you?
It's not your everyday kind of bass. No,
it's not. I thought you'd come in with like a jazz bass or a P bass or something, but
no.
Gee, it's massive.
Yeah, I was speaking to you before about the first bass I owned was an acoustic fretless. I just dove straight in and was, that'll. If I'm gonna try bass, I might as well challenge myself.
That's hardcore.
And I had one for a few years, and it was my favourite thing. And then I was in a car crash, and it was in the boot of the car, it died.
Oh.
I was fine, but the bass
at least
died.
you were all right. That's
well, maybe.
Yeah.
So I eventually replaced it, and it's not quite the same. It's not as nice. But then for working with Dave, I started with that, and I decided I couldn't quite afford a real double bass. Yeah. And I haven't got the size for a real double bass. So I'll dip my toes in the water and get an electric one.
Do you play conventional bass, like a fretted bass? You have conventional fretted bass if you're going to do like a normal rock gig or something?
Yeah, I've got a selection of basses, and none of them are quite normal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're all a bit odd.
I've got a Fender 6-string bass, not as you normally think of 6-string bass. Yeah. Like a pawn shop bass. Yeah. So it's E to E.
Ah, right.
And a 5-string bass, a 4-string fretless acoustic, and that stand-up bass. So I haven't got a standard 4-string, like there's that lovely Gibson over there. Yeah. I haven't got one like that anymore.
You just haven't got a normal...
Nope.
Well, that's fun. Well, Hendo is a lovely guy. We've been chatting off camera all day, and... very modest again, just like Dave. He said, "Oh, don't expect anything from me. I can't play. I'm rubbish. I've only just started." He's nonsense. The guy's amazing. Behind every great guitarist is a fantastic, rhythm section, or a bass player or a drum. Behind every great man is a Hendo. There's your bumper sticker.
Yeah. Behind every great man is Hendo.
Okay. There you go. We're going to get you a whole new audience now. No, but you're a really good player.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to meet you, and a lovely guy. So I want to hear this fantastic guitar
Okay.
and more of your stand-up bass playing. So this is a track called "It Ain't You." So here's the fabulous Dave Burton and Hendo. Take it away, guys.
She is the missing sun in your sky. She's the high water line in your life. To wake in the morning and always be by her side. It's what you always wanted inside. She is the guiding light in your eyes. She is the missing breath in your side. To bathe in her water and have her cleanse your mind. It's the peace you always wanted to find. She gave you her body, her mind. Not it seems so hard, and yeah, you looked, you didn't find. Now it blows you apart, 'cause she don't want you, but she needs you, and it keeps her coming back. But it's not working, she tells you, and you can't argue with that fact. You can be someone who you're not, and that's the problem we have got. It ain't you she's looking for. A captive bird won't hold her gaze. She seeks the parting of the waves. It ain't you, but someone new. It ain't you she's looking for. This idea you formed in your mind, that she'd solve all the problems that you find. It never existed the way you thought it did, since no one can tell you how to live. She gave you her body, her mind. Not it seems her heart. Yeah, you looked, you didn't find. Now it tears you apart. 'Cause she don't want you, but she needs you, and it keeps her coming back. But it's not working, she tells you, and you can't argue with that fact. You can be someone who you're not, and that's the problem we have got. It ain't you she's looking for. A captive bird won't hold her gaze. She seeks the parting of the waves. It ain't you, it's someone new. It ain't you she's looking for.
Okay, that was It Ain't You by Dave Burton and Hendo. Marvellous, beautiful solo at the end as well. And, you know, I know that was an expensive guitar, but I could hear every penny's worth there. It was beautiful. And like I say, the Ibanez sounded great. It wasn't like they were beautiful. You just think that's not going to get any better. And then suddenly there's another level of sonic perfection. So, you know, I know it wasn't cheap, but it was money well spent. Because you're a professional guitarist. And
that's right, yeah.
And I didn't know you were a guitar teacher as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got to have a good guitar. You've earned it.
I like to think so.
All those years of working hard. So we're going to wrap up the podcast now. It's I'm sure you'll all agree it's been fascinating. Some fantastic music. Check these guys out, please do. The website is davidburtonmusic.com.
That's right, yeah.
And if you're on Facebook, David Burton Music is on Facebook. That's right.
That's it.
There's YouTube, David Burton Music. Google David Burton Music, and you know Hendo's out there. Do you have your independent site, or are you just working with Dave at the minute? Or?
I don't think I've got any website at the moment.
Haven't you? You're a man of mystery.
I am.
You're just avoiding the tax man.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Like every musician.
Accurate.
Oh God, I've got to pay my tax. That just reminded me. Yeah, but it's been a pleasure. So thanks so much for driving all the way up to Liverpool.
Well, thank you for having us. It's been great.
I've enjoyed every minute. Hearing some fantastic music. So you know, we're Big Cloud Productions. If any singer-songwriters out there, any duos want to come in, do some recording, production, or star on a podcast like Dave and Hendo, get in touch. All the links are at the end of this video. And don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Or if you're listening on iTunes, you know, subscribe and spread the word. So thanks very much, guys. I've been Steve Stroud. This has been the Big Cloud Podcast. This is Big Cloud Productions. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Deserve a cup of tea or a brandy or something.
Got any crack?
Maybe crack.